Time now to visit the Transworld Sports archives for a feature with added resonance, given the tragic recent events in Ukraine. In September 2000, we travelled to the German city of Hamburg to meet up with two brothers who had designs on ruling heavyweight boxing. Back then, 6'7" Vitali Klitschko was 29 years old. His brother, 6'6" Wladimir, was 24. The Ukrainian brothers had moved to Hamburg in 1996, the year in which they both made their professional ring debuts on the same bill. Vitali had been a world champion kickboxer before switching to the sweet science. He won the WBO world title in 1999, but had lost it to Chris Bird a few months before our visit. When we caught up with the Klitschkos, Wladimir was preparing to avenge his brother's defeat to Chris Bird and win back the WBO title for Team Klitschko.
Vladimir's magic man.
Back then, the Klitschkos were both trained by Fritz Sudenek. The German was also training the likes of Hungarian featherweight István Kovács, who won gold at the 1996 Olympics and a world title in 2001. Sudenek was crucial in the early part of the brothers' careers and knew better than anyone just what they were capable of achieving.
I think that both Wladimir and Vitali are very clever boxers. They don't just think about their boxing in the ring, they know a lot about the history of the sport. And they also think very carefully about the future, about what they will do with their lives when they stop boxing professionally.
The brothers' preparations for the future included studying for PhDs in sports science. They had also recently started a foundation to help children back in their native Ukraine. It was very clear that this pair were not your stereotypical boxers.
They support each other totally. There's no jealousy. When Wladimir first started his build-up to this fight, Vitali was always there to support him.
When Vitali lost to Chris Bird in April 2000, he had been well ahead on all the judges' scorecards before a shoulder injury that he had suffered early in the fight forced him to retire following the 9th round.
It was difficult for many people to understand why a boxer would just give his world title away to his opponent in that fight, more or less like a present. Well, you see, for me, my health is more important than anything else. And in that particular moment, I was in so much pain from my shoulder that I was in danger of passing out, which would have meant a loss anyway.
Critics labelled Vitali a quitter, asking what fighter would retire with a world title at stake. His courage was questioned. Sadly ironic that, given his recent role in the defence of Kiev.
In my heart, I believe I did the right thing when I stopped the bout. And now that I know I'll get back in good shape again, I know that I'll win that belt back, as well as many others.
Vitali's next world title shot would come in 2003 against Lennox Lewis. Again, Vitali led on the cards before the ringside doctor stopped the fight at the end of the 6th due to a gaping cut over his left eye. It was a bruising encounter which sent Lewis into retirement and ushered in the era of the Klitschkos.
Big guy, big car.
From mid-2004 onwards, Vitali and Wladimir went on to utterly dominate the heavyweight division. Between them, they would claim all the major boxing belts. Despite their superstar status in Germany and Ukraine, the brothers have always remained grounded personalities and close to their roots. That quality was apparent when we spent time with them. Vitali allowed us into his family home, where we met his wife, Natalia, and the firstborn of their 3 children, Yegor Daniel. The older Klitschko is a modest man. Even then, he thought Wladimir was the better boxer of the two.
As far as his boxing career is concerned, no matter how much he's already achieved, I think that Wladimir has not yet shown anything like what he's capable of in the ring. I'd say that the best is most definitely still to come from him.
Wladimir retired in 2017 after winning 64 of his 69 pro fights. He contested 29 world heavyweight title fights, more than anyone else in boxing history. Vitali retired in 2013 in order to focus on his political career in Ukraine, becoming mayor of Kiev the following year. The Klitschko devotion to their training remains legendary, and we were privileged to witness that firsthand. Back in 2000, they trained at the Universum gym, alongside Regina Halmich, another well-known face in the boxing world.
I have been to many different training camps all over the world. And I would say that this one here is like a family, in the sporting sense. Everybody is very united, and everybody understands each other perfectly. But you mustn't forget that ultimately, boxing as a sport is about fighting against each other.
The Klitschkos we met 2 decades ago were likeable and confident young men with an acute sense of their own destiny.
Our aim and our dream is to become champions of the world and to collect the 4 most important titles in the division and keep them in our family.